Hey everybody, welcome back. And if this is your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below and let's get started. The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is pretty much as close to as perfect as you're going to get with a smartphone. So before you guys go bashing that dislike button, I love this phone. Anyone who asks me what the best phone is in 2024, it's the S24 Ultra, period. However, the best can have flaws. Here are 5 things I'd like to see Samsung improve on for their S25 Ultra coming out early next year because it's going to be a huge deal. And speaking of huge, this thing is just huge. It's big and boxy, which I'm okay with the boxy design, and I'm okay with a large phone too. But when you have a large phone and a boxy design, this is absolutely a two-handed phone for most people with average size hands. When I compare it to phones like the iPhone 16 Pro Max or the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, it's just not as comfortable to hold in the hand. I think Samsung needs to keep a similar design language because the boxiness is a unique characteristic of the old Note series and the current Ultra series phones. I just think they need to soften it up a bit. Like even using this thing without a case, it will start digging into your palm. It's just not comfortable. I think of something actually like the older Pixel 8 Pro. Look at these two side by side. I think if they went with a less boxy and a rounder design, that it would be so much better. Somewhere between the Pixel 8 Pro and the S24 Ultra, in my opinion, would be perfect. But even if your design is perfect, your software can have its issues. Now, of course, Samsung gives you a ton of options and things you can customize and do, which is awesome, don't get me wrong. Also, if that's not enough for you, you can download Samsung's incredible application, Good Lock, and get even more customization options, which is great. My issue with Samsung software isn't the options it gives you, it's the small things, primarily the overall fluidity of the software. It's not absolutely horrible, but when you compare it to something like the Pixel or iPhone, it just doesn't feel as smooth. The best way I can describe it is that it's incredibly fast, but not fluid. I'm not sure if it will show up in this video, but when you use it, you really do feel it. It's like it just gets caught up sometimes, or even doing things like swiping along the navigation bar area to switch between open apps, it just doesn't work all the time like the Pixel and iPhone. You have to get it just right. This is something that keeps me going back to my Pixel. It's just not as fluid as I would expect for a powerhouse like the S24 Ultra. Sometimes great specs just don't equal perfection, just like the S24 Ultra's camera. Great specs, but overall inconsistent performance. This year, the camera came with incredible hardware, even though I do wish we still had the 10 times optical zoom lens, but anyway. Now, I want to clarify that I'm only referring to the picture quality. I actually think the video quality is terrific. I have 3 big gripes with its camera though. First, it's the low light performance. I am not referring to night mode specifically, but more so those times you're inside your home, lighting is not the best, and you want to take a quick photo. It just doesn't look good. Most of the images I take are grainy and lack detail in dim lighting. My second gripe is the motion blur. Apple has their live photos, so you can always choose a different moment of a photo to get the best one, and Google has their best take feature, which works pretty much the same. Samsung, what the heck? Kids move, dogs move. People in general are going to move. I have found that capturing moving objects with the S24 Ultra is incredibly frustrating. Pair this with a situation that might not have the best lighting, and it's a double whammy of disappointment. Lastly, the images can sometimes come out overprocessed and a little grainy, especially when you're using the 50 megapixel and 200 megapixel camera modes. So to sum it up, the camera hardware really is great, and I used to film all of my YouTube videos, even the one you're watching right now. I genuinely like this camera when considering everything. The S25 Ultra needs to fix low light, motion blur, and just overall processing. And when it comes to processing, something that I needed to mentally process when purchasing this phone is that insane price tag. All phones are too expensive. It really is getting insane. I miss the era of buying a phone under $1,000, and since I've complained about the iPhone and Pixel being too expensive, and those phones cost about $1,200 for 256 gigabytes, the S25 Ultra is $1,300 for the same storage. $1,300! Now before the Samsung Knights attack the dislike button down below, yes, I know, Samsung easily offers some of the best or the best trade-in deals out of any other phone manufacturer out there. So if you're going to pick one of these guys up, buy it at launch to get the trade-in deals, or buy it when the next phone comes out for the best price. But $1,300 for a phone, this is just painful at this point. And what's insane is that I've had conversations with people who say, it's not that bad. I pay like $40 a month for my new iPhone. People don't look at the prices anymore because a lot of them are leasing their phones. Companies love this, by the way. They can just now bump it up a couple $100 and you don't even notice it on your 36-month installment plan. Quit leasing your phones and I can guarantee you that you will start noticing how outrageous phone prices have become. But phones aren't changing enough year to year to warrant such an insane price tag. And not quite as insane as the price, but AI is insanely cool. Just not as good as the competition in my personal opinion. Now, let's talk about Galaxy AI. Now, these are the things that I personally use on a regular basis, such as Magic Eraser from Google and Object Eraser from Samsung. To sum it up, I feel like Galaxy AI is a little inconsistent. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's a total mess. Google's AI for editing photos is more reliable from my experience and simply easier to use. When it comes to recording and transcribing, there really is no competition in my opinion. Google's AI can live transcribe and it's clear that it makes less mistakes and the overall experience is simply more intuitive. It's just not as good as Google's. For example, you can use Samsung's live translate feature and it's actually pretty cool, but it's only when you are making a phone call. Maybe it's just me, but I don't care about that at all. I can't think of any time I've had to call and have a conversation with somebody in a different language when traveling abroad. It's normally through written conversation like WhatsApp or email, etc. And yes, you can use a translate feature with Samsung keyboard, but that would require me to use Samsung's keyboard. Everyone knows that Gboard is miles better. I don't want to be forced to use Samsung's keyboard to access translation features. Also, Google's Live Translate in my text messages and WhatsApp messages is immediate, mostly accurate, and just a smoother overall experience. The fact of the matter is that the majority of conversations that I have abroad are live, like actually talking to a person face to face on the street. So I can just use Google Translate to communicate. I feel like Samsung falls into this trap a lot. They offer a ton of features that are really cool and good, but many of them are just not that helpful or they solve a problem that doesn't happen enough for me to consider it a problem that I need to be solved. Also, you can use Galaxy AI when summarizing articles and it's actually really good. My biggest gripe is that I have to use the Samsung Internet application to do so. No, thank you. It might be great, but I use Chrome for everything. I don't want to have to go to Samsung's separate internet application to access some AI features. And apart from that, a big thing that Google Gemini has over Galaxy AI is the ability to summarize YouTube videos. This is such a lifesaver for me. It has saved me easily hours of research for my videos, and I hope that Samsung can do something even better than Google by doing a similar feature, but for any video, not just YouTube. I guess we will see what Samsung has to offer with the S25 Ultra series next year. What do you all think down below? Did I upset any Samsung fans? I truly mean no offense. Please check out my other videos and you can see that I genuinely love the S24 Ultra. Consider this constructive criticism, nothing more. This is still the best phone of 2024 in my opinion, but please hit that like button down below if you like what I do and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I will see all of you next time.